Welcome to the Fluffy Cow Studio. I'm so glad you dropped by today. If you are returning, thank you so very much for supporting me and keep coming back and watching these videos. If you're new, thank you very much for popping in and welcome to our channel. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost a thing. It's totally free, and I hope that you enjoy your visit here. Today we are going to be working on some fall crafts that are pretty cool. So let's get to it. We are going to start with some leaf cutouts with a leaf cutout from Dollar Tree and a little crate or box from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take some marsh green from Apple Barrel Paint, and I'm going to paint it along the edge or on the big leaf. And I'm going to do the front with this marsh green, and then I will do the back with the marsh green, but we're only doing the big leaf. I'm just using a flat brush to paint around there. There was a little raffia bow I took off, and it doesn't matter that the glue is still on there. If you were going to see this part, then I would definitely work to take that off, but we're not going to see that part of the leaf, so it's okay to just leave it there. Save yourself a little bit of headache. Once we go around with this and we let it dry, I'm going to come back with some, well, we're going to let that dry then, I guess. And now I am going to stain this box with some nutmeg. And because my nutmeg is old and really um, watered down, I'm going to use it as a stain, and I'm just wiping off the extra. And I'm getting around the corners there, and then I don't know why I worried about it so much, because we end up covering it up at the end. So, and I'm going to go all the way around the box. It looks like I got my brush into some of that green. Wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, which is pretty normal for me. I get one thing on my mind and forget about what I was doing in the first place. And I'm just wiping that down. And then I'm going to do um, the top edges and the side, and I'm just going to wipe that down. And I am not going to do the inside because we are going to be filling it up. And then I will turn it over and I will stain the bottom part of that. I will also be staining four little skewers, or three skewers. Not sure that they're little, but just three skewers. And I'm going to be staining them as well with this nutmeg paint. And just wiping that off. I'm going to let that dry. Now that we've got that, and again, I was adjusting with the camera, so it may not be on. I'm taking some bright red, or maybe this is crimson red, either one. I'm just taking a red and going around, but red and green make brown, as you all probably learned in school. But so if you want the red to really be a really definite red, you'll want to let this dry and then do another coat. And I'm just going on the edges. I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm just doing the edges. Like the leaves are just barely starting to turn. Not really dry brushing this. I'm putting, you know, a good amount of paint on it. Um, I'm just painting the edges because I want it to be, pretty definite that it's. And I just keep going around the edge until I decide that I've like what I see. Okay, now I am going to take some of the glitter vinyl from the dollar store. They had it on sale, 25 cents a roll. So I grabbed some because it was getting fall and I thought, or Halloween, I could use this. So I take it and I put it down on my smaller leaf, and then I'm taking an X-Acto knife or a um, art knife or whatever they're called, and I am going to go along the outline of that leaf and cut off the excess. And I do that all the way around. I don't show that all, I don't think, but you get the idea. I'm just tracing out that edge with that knife. Maybe it's a craft knife. Okay, there I've got it all trimmed up. Now I have a little bit left over, so I'm going to put a little bit more of that vinyl on there, and I am going to kind of get it all down and then take my knife and go cut around it as well. And then I'll pull off the excess. And then I take my knife and I'm not actually cutting, but I'm kind of pressing down the edges along the edge of that cutout. And I just do that all the way around the leaf. And I'm just taking that vinyl and rubbing it along the edges there. Okay, now I am taking some Mod Podge. I didn't know if this was very good vinyl, so I thought I would put some Mod Podge over it, but I'm also going to be Mod Podging what else but a fluffy cow to go on my leaf. I love me some fluffy cow. I'm just rubbing that to get the little bubbles out. I just used copy paper and I got this off of, well, I went to Pinterest, found the picture I wanted. This may have been a free one, I'm not really sure. I usually go in and I've got so many of them I don't know which ones are the ones I got off of Etsy and the ones I got off of just the free ones. Now these I am going around and I'm taking the Mod Podge and going around the leaf as well just to seal everything up. And there we have a pretty nice looking leaf with a cute little fluffy cow. Okay, now I'm going to take, I didn't show this, I let that dry and then I glued that to the inside of the box, the bottom part of the leaf where the stem is, as you can see right there. Now I am taking some uh, flowers and leaves and I'm putting in, I put some, I don't know what they're called, we call them pussy willows. um, on the corners there, I'm just putting some faux leaves and some, all this stuff came from Dollar Tree. And here is where we kind of cover up those handles, and so it didn't really matter if we painted them or not. And I'm just gluing these on with hot glue just wherever I felt like they needed to be. I'm first all layering it with the leaves, and now I'm putting on a little pumpkin, a little white pumpkin that I found from Dollar Tree, and I'm using those little sparkly leaf-like things that I got from Dollar Tree as well. Putting a big sunflower there. And I've got this sped way up so you didn't have to watch it for long periods of time. When you're doing floral arrangements and things, and I like doing them, but you can do what looks good to you. You know, right here I'm not using any specific areas, but when it gets done, it looks pretty decent. And I think don't be afraid to try. And don't be afraid to screw up. When you're afraid to screw up and you don't do things the way you would do them if, just think, I can fix this if it doesn't look good. And usually, you know, follow your heart, what looks good to you. Now I'm just putting on some like those little white berry things off of the fall florals. Okay, then we had that was the finished product. You'll see the finished at the end. I'll take a little better look at it. Okay, now I got this rope pumpkin from the Dollar Tree and I spray painted it with a cream colored spray paint, and it took a long time for this to dry. So I did a couple coats. I did two or three coats because it didn't take the color really well. Of course, my paint was really old. It's just a cream colored and off-white colored. Now I'm taking them sparkly leaves and I'm gluing them around. And they're kind of hard to glue on. I mean, to keep them glued, I probably maybe should have used maybe a tacky glue or maybe even a little E6000 on parts of them now that, it's glued on there to make it more secure. I noticed they weren't on as well as I would have liked them to be. So now I'm taking some of them blue leaves. I kind of like that color for fall, is that blue-ish color. I'm just taking and putting them around over the top of the sparkly leaves. And this one's kind of a white pink color. And now I'm putting on some little blue foam berries. Now I'm taking some of those pumpkins from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put two on each side and I'm going to put two of the white ones on each side. At least I thought I put two of them on. Maybe I didn't. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, now I'm taking a cardboard. Now I get this cardboard at work. It comes in between some labels, and we used to have piles of it, so I picked up a few and brought it home to resalvage them. And I'm painting this with a true blue from Folk Art. And I think I'm only doing one coat because because I kind of wanted a more gray blue look so that it would blend in with my leaves and things a little bit better. So now I am taking a timeless gray from Apple Barrel and I'm just painting over it, kind of mixing it. I didn't let my paint dry so that it would mix a little bit better. And I got that a little bit too gray, so I just put a little bit more blue on. I'm not worried about that crease at the end because we will cover that up. Okay, to the side there you can see I also painted one of those little cat treat containers in the same color, the off-white that I painted this little pumpkin. Now I'm just putting some faux flowers around using those sparkly leaves and some of the blue leaves, some of the white leaves, just whatever looks good. And it took me two or three times to get these glitter things to glue down. I found that if I um, put the glue on one side where the leaves were and glued all them leaves, and then go to the other side and glue them down, it worked a whole lot better than just, putting some glue down and hoping they stick. Because, they were, I don't know if it's because of the glitter that was on them that made it so hard to glue down or because it was kind of a plasticky thing. I don't know, but I found it worked a whole lot better if I glued each stem down. And as what I did is I kind of did the sparkly things. I did one side at a time. I did the sparkly leaves or ferns or whatever they are. And then I put the flowers on and then turned it to the next little side and kept doing that all the way around. I'm using some of the blue. I wished I would have got more of these blue um, picks. I didn't get very many. I think I only got one, maybe two. I don't know. I think I must have got two because one I don't think would have done all this. And there I'm just kind of going along the leaves, doing one side, gluing it down, and then doing the other side. It worked a whole lot better like that. Now I'm putting on some more of those blue. And some of their a white, a light brown, a light tan, or pinkish color. And now I thought I ran out of stuff, so I was using some of these sparkly leaves that I got last year from the Dollar Tree. However, I think I ended up finding some after I cleaned up my mess, so then yeah, I found some there. So then I put a few more on to just kind of make it look cohesive with the other sides. Okay, now I'm going to be gluing this. Now, if I did this again, I would take the hot glue and then I'd take the E6000 and glue it on. Now I'm just taking some more faux flowers and pumpkins and different things to put along. I'm just kind of trying to make it look cohesive as it goes around, so and so you don't have, all things on one side or, just spread them out. And I think these white things came on anyway, they all came from the dollar store and they worked pretty good. I'm just gonna keep going around filling in what needs to be filled in. Or I don't show it here, but I just kept thinking every time I walked into the room and seen it, I'm like, that is really missing something. I took a couple of sunflowers and put them on. Kind of now wished I didn't, but nonetheless, there is the finished product. This is without a candle. I put a candle, a faux candle from Dollar Store. They have these littler ones, and I picked up the littler one and put inside there. And when it gets dark, I'll try and film that so you can see what it looks like when it's dark. But that's it for today, and I will be putting a picture of the finished product of the leaf in here at the end. But I want to thank you for dropping by, and I hope you like this video. If you do, please like and please leave your comments below. Let me know if you like these or not. And click the like button and subscribe button, and I truly, truly appreciate you popping in. So with that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Hope everything goes your way, and smile. It might make someone else's day. Love you all. Thank you.